You're still watching Breakfast Daily on City TV, and please do send us a message. You can hashtag Breakfast Daily on social media and send us a message on WhatsApp using the number 0550-585832. And you can talk about anything and everything we're discussing on the show this morning. Now, we'll take a trip back to Jukwa this morning. If you remember, yesterday we brought you live coverage of what the situation was like on the ground there with our Central Regional correspondent, Calvis Tete. There was flooding over the weekend because of heavy rainfall, and it actually destroyed a portion of the road leading to the bridge that connects that side of the Central Region to Cape Coast, etc. Now, we're going to go back there eventually, see what it's like, but let's refresh our memory on what happened when Calvis spoke to the MP for the area, the assemblyman, and other persons who are trying to resolve the situation.
Over the weekend, the Sorowe River overflowed its banks after heavy rains that started on Friday night. Portions of the Sorowe Bridge in Jukwa that connects Cape Coast to Chifopraso caved in, making it difficult for persons to cross to both ends of the road. Not only did the Sorowe River destroy portions of the road, but persons who live close to communities where the river passes through were affected as well. Here in Simil, a community in the Commander Edna Eguafo Abrim constituency, hundreds of houses have been destroyed, with over 500 persons displaced as a result of the overflow of the Sorowe River. The water levels in the area was at the window level from water marks on some buildings. Some residents whose homes have been destroyed by the rains have sought cover with friends and in some instances in school buildings in the community. Here are some residents speaking to City News about the crisis.
Yeah, down how much later was Shinaba. It's the answer 19 years. You would eat another way yet 30 minutes in book. In some way, and webu.
Suben, friend.
Neither your friend, therefore, Siri. I know they actually. Well, we had here, this I answered the out of. In some miss me, I won't see me. Madame Ebu, maybe I will. Madame Oye Bass, and here will.
In so the high end of mine, union mine sweepy. In Tonana, our high union. I'm in poor announcement, was it? When I saw by 5 o'clock, man, say. In Tana Pabba says, in the Yabaka, and I was in Suriba. In Sierra Yard, in the Yabashins, you do now. All cook room. Namakala said, I'm a Yankee in a mad 30 years going or Berno, or Bayab would be Abonan when we them when see. Yana Adrian will to my belief. Timoko Buemo, you name as you and I abamo. Never dancing on Wafan cry. Timoko Fred Mukomiti, Manny bit to mention, Neda no Bruno, Neda no Dinkabu, or Yan Chance then, or Boon and Chance then would go my bonano. In Cinnamon, Conopom, comedy them one came, my castle and Task Namoko committee there, or make the destiny. Omo kam onyema na makase no nyema mnya kwam komideni insene dan pena obehwe mama na yi nyema mu komideni na menya di meyango mongo sisuo menya madi fa wase
from 6 to 7 in ehun there insunu wa ya dan wa fuko ni hala nti anete eden na oye that danity anu okudu wa pia o tiema beta pe no grim na ni hala wo bu nti bi wa ofan de ni nyama de ne fridge de nyama owo hia no de mo kofu ya wo hwere nti ihu de when na wa say wa nyama de ya mese won kan kwai impa 500 dimpo obo.
The rains also destroyed portions of the Simil stretch close to the Ankafo prisons where portions of a bridge linking the community caved in. Speaking to City News after visiting the Jukwa area, Minister for Roads and Highways, Kwesi Amoakwata, says his ministry is prepared to fix roads and bridges that are destroyed by the rains 24 hours after it occurs to ensure that persons are not trapped.
As much as we don't expect and we don't pray for such disasters, once the rainfall continues, we are likely to experience washouts on our road because of the force, the torrential force of the rains. But the people of this country should rest assured that there is a strong, formidable program on the ground, and wherever it happens, unfortunately, though, we shall move in to reinstate the road, depending upon the degree and the extent of the problem. We have task ourselves, to reinstate any washout road within 24 hours.
Central Regional Minister Marigold Hassan expressed worry with the extent of damage done to lives and properties, particularly the death of a prison officer who passed on while trying to rescue some persons from the rains, and the destruction done to properties in Simeo.
A lot more communities, more than 13 of them, are now completely down. And thankfully, we had NADMO coming in with some relief items for the people. And we are getting some relief here and there, but it's quite disturbing to lose a life. Unfortunately, we lost a dear one, a prison officer who was also giving a support to people who were also distressed and going through the river. Unfortunately, we lost him. It's quite unfortunate, but now the situation is a bit calm. The waters are coming down because the volume of the water was so high and very heavy that had to collapse the whole community.
For officers from the Ghana Prison Service in Ankafo, the death of one of their officers as a result of the flood has dampened the spirit of officers. The floods also destroyed properties of officers, but the public relations officer for the service, Superintendent Zenil Vincent, believes counseling is needed to bring the officers to shape.
We have officers who stay at Abe and Amisano and Tranwa, and all their items were washed off by this rain. And for that matter, the Director General came to the scene yesterday, talked to those officers, assured them on what the service is going to do to bring them back onto their feet. And especially most of them, their uniforms were carried away. At the moment we are talking, what we need is to psych them, counseling. You can't ask such a person to go and sit there and be watching prisoner.
The Sorori River that overflowed its banks and destroyed portions of the road in the Jukwa Cape Coast stretch has also displaced over 500 persons in Simeo, a community in the Commander Edina Egwafu Ebrim constituency. Persons here say the rain started on Friday, destroying several houses in this community, and they want help from the central government.
All right, so there you saw the report by our colleague, Calvis Tete, bringing us up to speed on what's happening at the Jukwa community. The roads minister was there. You saw the other people that were there, the DCE, the regional minister, they were all there. Basically to, as an emergency, have this temporary solution done, but then also look at what can be done to as a more permanent solution on that road. And then hopefully, Kokwi, as the MP was making mention of yesterday, hopefully they'll also do some other bypasses and so on.
Take some pressure off them. Necessary. And expanding it.
But I think that the total plan has to include, the opening up of the channels, so that water moves unimpeded towards the sea. Because that's the only way you're going to get the water off the land.
One of our colleagues, I was speaking to her this morning about it, and she said she actually went to school in that area, and she said it's been flooding. That area and surrounding areas have been flooding since she was a student going to school in that area.
Okay.
So it's something it's a perennial issue, but it looks like this year it just kind of swept everyone away by surprise, But it takes something like this for people to actually realize, oh, maybe we need to take a good look at this and do something about it.
So what the person is saying is that basically this year's own is more impactful, has been more.
But she did say though that when she was in school,
because I haven't heard this where we have hundreds and hundreds of houses
destroyed like that. I mean, the imagery is
so
you can see the destruction is bad. But from what she was saying, when she was a student during those times, they couldn't go to school when it rained because the flooding was that bad. But it looks like it's just escalated to this point. But it's always been a problem, over the years. So. At least now eyes are on it, and hopefully there'll be a lasting solution.
But it looks like the flooding is along the Sorori River, because the Commander community is also because of the Sorori River that it impacted as well. So I still say if we focus on our the channels, because the water is going to the sea. That's where it's trying to go. So if you block it in any way, shape, or form, you're going to impede the flow of water. The water will find a way somehow, you know. And like in this case, the road, it found a way. It's a very simple thing, you know. It found a way and found a way through the road. It was a weakness in the road, but it found a way, you know. So we've got to do these things, and in the 60s, people went to the moon. It shouldn't be rocket science to do to fix some of these things that we're doing in our communities.
Hopefully it'll be a priority as well, because
Yeah.
the temporary fix is working well for now, but people need to remember it's temporary. So it's easy to say, oh, it's fine, we're using it. Next thing you know, God forbid, because the rains haven't stopped, you know, and much of what they've done involves, you know, dirt or sand, or whatever they put there. So
I mean, there's rock beneath it,
but that can the dirt can wash away, leaving it's not permanent. So hopefully, the Minister of Roads and Highways has gone there. We've seen him. Now it's on our radar. Let's make sure it is fixed properly, so that this issue won't happen again.